You're watching BionicDance. Don't run on automatic, instead, please think.
Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. I didn't actually want to cover this subject again, but hey, it's been a while, and I was specifically asked to, so hey. Babies are atheists. Let's do this. So what exactly makes someone an atheist? As far as I'm concerned, as long as the number of gods you believe in is 0, you're an atheist. It doesn't matter why you don't believe in gods, you just don't believe in any. That's what it means as far as I'm concerned, as far as a lot of people are concerned. But there's some dispute about that. And, of course, the origin of the word is atheist, not atheist, but that's not what the word has come to mean in recent years, and certainly atheist rather than atheist is a valid way to form that word. But anyway, allow me to introduce you to a YouTuber known as Venaloid. I assume I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm not sure. I was directed to a specific video of his by the person who asked me to cover this subject once again, and he has a few things to say on this subject, and I have a few things to say about the things he has to say about it. Let's have a look.
And I feel the need to rehash a point that's been made before, which is, well, no, babies aren't really atheists. I mean, yes, they are in the sense that they don't believe in God, but it's only really in a trivial sense, like, by the same logic, rocks are atheists.
So what you're saying is that they're Scotsmen. They're just not true Scotsmen. You said it yourself. They are, in fact, atheists. They don't believe in gods. They believe in 0 gods. They're atheists. You just don't want to call them atheists because they're not explicit, strong atheists. They're implicit, weak atheists. We agree that they are atheists. You just said it yourself. So why don't we append an adjective onto the front of atheist, admit they're atheists, and move on? Why all the brouhaha? Why all the argument saying babies aren't atheists when clearly they are?
It's not that they've been given the evidence and they've weighed it and they've said, you know what, I don't think so. It's that they simply don't have the capacity to believe in a god, even if they were told about it. Babies can't believe in a god because they don't have the capacity, neither can rocks. So in this really meaningless, trivial sense, yes, babies are atheists, but who cares?
Well, I care. And those of us who actually give a shit about the facts, about reality, care. I mean, how many gods do they believe in? 0. Babies are atheists. They are non-believers. The reasons why they don't believe don't really matter that much. They still have a place in the taxonomy of believers and non-believers. The number of gods they believe in, 0. There you go. Babies are atheists. Maybe the fact that they're atheists doesn't have a lot of impact. Maybe it's not super relevant, but it's still an actual data point. It still means something. And so, you know, if you're trying to say, no, they're not atheists, or if you're one of those people who tries to say, no, they're outside of the classification system entirely, well, you're wrong. They're not. They still believe in 0 gods, just like the rest of us atheists. The reasons why are different, but they still believe in 0 gods, and that's what defines an atheist, believing in 0 gods. It's not denial that defines an atheist. It's lacking belief that defines an atheist. And so, if you're going to be one of those people that says, no, babies aren't atheists, well, I'm sorry, but essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to say that only strong atheists, only explicit atheists are atheists at all. And we're going to keep having this fight. If instead you were willing to say, okay, atheists are all non-believers, all believers in 0 gods, and there are different types and ways to be that kind of person who believes in 0 gods, then we're having a real conversation. Then we're actually classifying atheists in a reasonable and logical and factual way. And thus babies are atheists. That makes sense. Can we do that so we can stop having this fight?
In response to this, some atheists will say, well, that's not really what I mean. The point that I'm making is that religion is artificial, it's imposed. If we were simply not told about religion, no one would believe it. And to that I say, bullshit. People would believe in religion even if they were raised completely isolated from it. It's because the human brain works in such a way that it detects patterns, it infers agency. The human brain is set up to believe in the supernatural, which is unfortunate. It's an evolutionary byproduct where, for example, agency detection, intentions of others, pattern recognition, these are all incredibly useful things when you're trying to survive. Unfortunately, they also lead to the erroneous conclusion of the supernatural.
Well, there's a premise that doesn't hold water. Because let's face it, the supernatural does not necessarily mean religion. Religion means, gods, demigods, heaven, hell, dogma, churches, temples, all of that crap. But the supernatural can mean, gosh, witches, wizards, sorcerers, ghosts, dragons, fairies, elves, casting spells and shit. That's the supernatural. It's got a much wider net than just religion. That's for sure. Plus, even if the human mind is set up to think, gosh, the supernatural might have happened, the human mind is also set up for critical thinking. You ever hear of a little thing called science? If we think the supernatural happened, we might investigate and discover, gosh, it wasn't the supernatural after all. That can happen too. So no, just because we aren't indoctrinated doesn't mean we're going to set ourselves up for religion, even if we're isolated from the already established religions. I'm sorry, but your premise doesn't hold up against critical scrutiny.
But I really don't understand how this whole babies are atheists, religion is an artificial thing. I don't see how that's an argument. I don't see how that's supposed to be convincing. And really, I think it's just a dumb point to raise.
Well, but see, that's the thing. Who cares if it's a dumb point to raise? If it's not one that, you really care about a lot, it's still the truth. It's still the facts. So don't go denying it just because you don't like it. It's still a fact. So admit it and move on so we can stop having this argument. Now, while we're on the subject, I want to deal with something that's been bugging the crap out of me. Alright? Take it from a former film student. When you are framing your shot, now I realize this is not relevant, but when you are framing your shot, okay, you don't center your face in the screen like this. Look at all this headroom you got. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you in your shot there, huh? Look at all that headroom. You fill the frame. Put your head up at the top of the goddamn frame. Seriously, that's what you do. You don't center your face. You put it up at the top of the frame. Okay? That's the way you frame a shot. Just saying. Because if you got all that extra headroom, it's just empty space. I'm just saying, take it from a former film student, from an artist. That's the proper way to frame a shot. The number of people who do that, where they just their natural instinct, let me put my face right in the middle of the frame, and it doesn't matter if there's all this negative space there. It just, it drives me up the frickin' wall. I'm sorry. I realize it's not relevant to the video, but I just had to say it because everyone and their hamster does it. And it just, it makes you want to... Sorry. I realize it's not relevant, and I'm not picking on you. Just saying. Anyway, until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. Please take the time to rate this video. And hey, if you dig what I do, subscribe. And please visit my Zazzle store, where you'll find all kinds of BionicDance merchandise. Help control the religious population. Have your theists spayed or neutered.